remains in the thing.
Yes, it's more.
It's more.
It's more, it's true.
I went back to Malcolm and told them, see the quantity that is remaining. I need to use my tank to do some display or whatever.
Very, very true. I have had to pour water into it to mix it to get it out. But I don't know. Fund milk is not listening to the customers. It's really not good for us because you buy it and then half of it you have to throw it away. And that that's kind of the customer feedback you should get. And my friend was telling me that they told that this when they finished, they told Fund milk that the thing is too creamy for the Ghanaian audience, but they still release the product just like as it is. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. And I'm not the only person saying. I'm coming from Accra. Somebody is in Ho. He's having the same experience. And I think the company will not realize until maybe there's a very large customer base making large noise about it. And if somebody comes up with a similar product that is less creamier, the person will take. That is why the other ones are selling well. Yomi and there are so many other ones. There's other ones mixed with wheat. Yeah, but it's not that creamy like the Fun Max one. No, Fun Max is very difficult to pour it out of there, especially if it's iced.
I can't wait for it to cool down. That was my complaint against them. I need to wait for some time for the whole thing to come down, or I turn the whole bottle down like this for about. I have to turn the whole bottle down for some time, waiting for it to slow down. And all those processes is a time waiting for appetite.
It's true. Mm-hmm. If somebody should take it and film it and put it on social media, they'll respond. But that's the truth. Another thing I want to point out is that the product you have in your mind can change in terms of its benefit. You have made the product that it should benefit the people like this, but the people interpret it separately. One thing I'll give you an example is a screwdriver. You know that screwdriver there are different types of screwdrivers. There's this one which is the flat, and then there is a star. Then they realize that customers were not buying, didn't want to buy 1 and 2. Now they started doing one that you can even remove it and turn it and put it inside. I hope you remember that. Then others were giving different heads to fit different type of screws. But screwdrivers currently are not just used for doing this. They use it for opening. If you buy water and there's rubber bag, plastic cellophane around it, you use it to tear it. I don't know whether you realize it. Sometimes you are looking for a cutter and you know a blade cannot do it. A screwdriver which is flat can do it, and then you use it to cut it. Now, ask yourself, when the person was creating the screwdriver, did he tell you that the screwdriver is for cutting? No. But the customers are now using it for different things to be able to adjust to their lifestyle. And that's something that we forget about products. When you create a product in your mind that you want to release into the market, you have to also know that there could be unintended uses of the product. Unintended uses of the product. There's a medicine called Ryzen. It's supposed to help you if you are itching or you have got an allergy. The baby Ryzen, when they give it to children, it makes them sleep. So sometimes mothers like when you're having a troublesome baby, you can just dose it a little bit of Ryzen and the child will sleep. You see, the way I say is true. But it is not prescribed for that. But if you want your crying baby to keep quiet, that is what some people are using it for. So sometimes when doctors are now giving the Ryzen out, they want to advise that please don't abuse it. When they say don't abuse, they are trying to say don't give it to your child because you want to keep the child quiet. But this is another user has happened. So it happens that sometimes you didn't plan to use it like this. You created it for something else. By the time you realize on the market, people are buying it for a different reason. They are buying it for different reasons. I remember when we were in SS, you know mashke? Good. The mashke technically is just mashing kenke and adding milk to it. But you know that if you ferment it a little bit, it turns into alcohol. And there were students who can ferment it and take it like 5 days. And then they start selling it on campus. Then they have got high potent mashke. So if Friday you close lectures, you want to use it, I can supply. I said, so you can't jump the wall and go and buy beer and bring it to school. Somebody can supply alcohol for you. Yeah, and the 6 formers and the 4 5s were using it a lot. They sell it among themselves, they pass it around and stuff. And That is not your use. But kenke is something you can easily get from the dining hall. I hope you know that. That is a different business that is on the side there. I'm trying to tell you that your idea you have in your mind can have different uses. So sometimes you have to start thinking very far. What is the unintended uses of your product? Some of the unintended uses can let maybe a tax officer or police or Ghana police or any other person say that we should stop selling your product because people are abusing it in the negative sense. So you always have to think through your products very, very well. Even as you put it on, you are trying to put it onto the market. Okay. The next one you have to do is technical assessment. Do I have the technical resources to be able to do the product? And do the technical resources exist in the community? There are certain things that they don't exist in the community. You may have to get from elsewhere. For example, one of my barber friends tells me that there's a particular type of barbering equipment that's for barbering for the clippers. A friend of him brought it from the US, and it's so smooth and it's so light that when you use it on customers, they like it a lot. So he has been trying to find some to buy in Ghana, but the only one he sees selling in Ghana is the WAHL, WAHL. That one is everywhere, but that particular one that the friend brought from the US, he doesn't get it anywhere. So the only thing that he wanted to do is that his friend should bring it, then he'll be selling it to other barbers because he has been introducing it to them. Now this is an interesting thing. He has found out there's another equipment that could do a better job, and that one could also be rechargeable. So in this doing so, and it was very good for his business because as soon as he charges, he can use it for about 7 cuts, which is better than he using just blade on somebody. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So sometimes you have to ask yourself that do you have the resources to be able to do the business or manage the business? If somebody was doing wache, one of the resources you have to look out for is the ingredients to do the food, and then even the utensils for them. And then if you don't have the resources, one question you ask is how difficult it is to get it. There are certain businesses that if you are doing, as our brother said earlier, if you're doing salt production here, even if you are given the land and the water, there are certain things that you may need, some machines that you may need, and will you be able to get it very easily? When we're coming to, this is my first time to Ho, and I found it to be a lovely place. So thank you very much for your time. But when we're coming, I saw a different type of houses, and I was seeing some people have built very interesting buildings, story buildings and stuff, and I was saying that I'm not seeing any block factory anywhere, but there are a lot of buildings here. I'm not seeing a cement shop anywhere. So I started asking myself that where is the cement shop? Is it from Kong? Where are the blocks coming from? Because in certain towns, when you're going, you see a lot of block factories there. They know that they are going to be an estate in front of you because they are all supplying the blocks to that particular one. So I wanted to ask, where is the blocks coming from? Where is the cement coming from? They are around, but where are they? But they are not on the roadside. Aha. They're not on the roadside. Why in Accra you see a lot of block factory on the roadside because you load it and just get onto the street and go. But you are saying that they are inside. And you produce your own block. So you buy from with here. You buy your so they bring it to your site. Then they bring the machine. Then they produce the quantity you want. You buy the cement for them. Interesting. See, this is a different business. So now you find them much more on the site of the person who is building. That means that that's a different type of business. If I want to do this type of block making, that means that I have to have clients who are building. Whilst when you go to certain parts of Accra, you can build and you can just do the blocks and put them down, waiting for somebody to pass by and come and order and then take it away. But this one, you move to the site of the person and help the person build. So that means as you are going, you can ask for any quantity. But that means, are you not renting the molds? You have to rent it. Or it's all part of the per block. Okay. Okay.
They have bought their own mold and shovels and all this. So yeah. So you just tell them, I want 1,000 blocks, and they tell you supply 2 trips of sand, so and so this, so and so that water, 30 drums, this and so on at the site. Then we will produce. That's all.
Okay, so you see what is happening. You, the person engaging them, has to bring the sand. You, the person engaging them, has to bring the water. You, the person engaging them, has to bring the the cement, which is very different in Accra. All you have to do is bring a car to move it, and it means that they supply the car free if you buy a high quantity. Well, so maybe then the pricing per block here may be different from the pricing per block in Accra. And it means that if I bring the Accra model here, it may not work. It may not work. And that is what I'm trying to say, that you should have to do a feasibility. If you don't take care, you think the Accra model will work. Yeah, it might not work. Maybe will be good for me is that I have my equipment and I rent out for people who are young and they want to start the business. They don't have it. So I become like the Zoom lion for cement block production. I give my equipment out and then they go and use it. Okay. So maybe that is another one thing that you have to look into. Then you have to ask yourself that if you are starting a business, introducing a new product, you yourself that wants to do it, do you have experience in the area? If you don't have an experience in the area, it may be very difficult. For example, if I go back to the story I was saying, Sefa doesn't have any experience in hairdressing. He's hiring a queer. But when you come to barbering, someone has an experience in barbering. He has the desire, he has a skill. If you're not very careful, you may have to change a queer about 3 times before you find the best queer for you to work for you. Because the first person may be stealing money from you. The next person may not know how to talk to customers. There may be many problems you have, and to affect your brand. But he is a person who is going to administer the service, and he has the skill. So from day one, he's on a better, apart from your money. If we take the money out, skill-wise, he's has a better advantage than you. So experience also matters when you are doing your assessment. Experience in the area. Then the suitability of your location and the site on the project. Where are you going to site your project in? Some of the businesses that we may want to do, if you're not very careful, it may not be suitable in certain parts of Ho itself. Like you have advised me right now about block making. If I came here and I put it over just by the roadside, I may not even get a business. But so you are thinking about the nearness to the beneficiaries. That is why block making is taken to the site. So yours is different. Then what about the infrastructure facilities that you need? And then whether there could be any other alternatives that could be offered here. For example, in building this particular magnificent hotel, I don't think they only just 2 blocks from here. I think they use rocks too. Because I think it is a hill. So they harvested some of the rocks and they use it in part of the building. Those of you witness, I hear it was finished 2 years ago. Now, for you to be able to use the rocks, then you should have had machines that can cut rocks. And maybe you can't hire any of them around here. You may have to go outside Ho to go and bring them. So sometimes the infrastructure may not be there. Or there may be some natural part of the locality that you can use as part of your building. This is not the only one I've seen. I've seen another building like this in Ebri. It is called Lansdowne Hotel, and that one was built by another engineering company in Accra. What they did is also to harvest the rocks and use it as part of the architecture of the place. So as you are moving through the place, you are also moving through the rocks at the same time, and it makes the building have become a little bit culturally significant to the people, and it becomes a tourist attraction of its own. I hope you understand that. And then if you position the rocks well, it can also help you in terms of the rainstorm, yes, and give you stability, especially when there are shakings and other kind of movements in the rock palace. So you have to be smart enough to be able to make use of the infrastructure, the natural infrastructure, and then the physical infrastructure that are available. Then, what if some of your materials become unavailable? You see, if you are doing a business that is relying on resources or supplies always out of Ho, anytime transportation between wherever it is coming from, Kumasi or Accra, is strained, it will affect your sales. And I think some businesses that have run down in here just because everything was coming from outside. And as soon as there was a problem on the road or supplies or even forex exchange change and buying was increased, prices increased, and cost of transportation increases, affected the businesses here. So we try as much as possible not to rely on external resources. Otherwise, especially those who are external to the locality, otherwise your business plan has to be foolproof. Either you have your own car, you have your own road, or you have your own means of bringing the things here. It will increase your costs in doing everything here. Okay. Then you get your financial analysis. Now, Where will you get your money from to start the business? If you look at the graph here, personal savings is what people rely on most. Personal savings. Sorry if you can see, you can look at it on your slide. Personal